Be a part of the newest pro wrestling podcast on these interwebs at this very moment. Head on over to patreon.com/unapologetic, where you can find several reward tiers where you can contribute to the show any way you like. The link is in the description box below.
What's going on, family? My name is Terrence, and welcome to Unapologetic, the only pro wrestling podcast on these here interwebs that you should be listening to at this very moment, of course. Now, if you would like to follow the podcast on Twitter, head on over to @unapologeticpdc. I couldn't make it unapologetic because somebody already took it, so I had to make it unapologetic PDC. Either way, go follow the account. It doesn't matter what the name is. All that matters is that you follow. And if you would like to follow my personal Twitter account, you don't want to do that, I advise you not to. Wink, wink. But if you don't want to, go ahead and head over to Lord Tremaine. Now, none of you can spell it the way that I have it. So those two links are going to be in the description box below. And if you would like to be a supporter to the podcast and you would like to contribute to the making of this podcast, head on over to patreon.com/unapologetic. Now you can support the show any way you like to, or you don't have to. Your viewership is enough for me right now. But if you're gonna view the show, please hit that like button. Make sweet, passionate love to that like button. And once you get done making passionate love to that like button, head on over to that subscribe button, and I want you to impregnate that subscribe button. Impregnate it. I'll wait. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead. You done that fast? It happens to the best of us. Now, I know you all came here. You came here to listen to me talk about Raw. Now, this should be fun because this Raw was terrible. This was a shitty Raw. This Raw would have been good if it was, well, it wouldn't have, even if this was a go home, it would have been a fucking terrible go home. Which is amazing because Great Balls of Fire, terrible pay-per-view name, but Great Balls of Fire was a really good pay-per-view. It was a really good pay-per-view. And then we transitioned that into just a shitty episode of Raw. Once again. Like when you hear people talk about watching Raw is a chore, that's disrespectful to chores around the world. I would rather cut my yard butt ass naked when it's 50 degrees outside rather than look at this Raw all over again. This was such a bad episode of Raw. I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm going to because I can't have a podcast without talking about it. So the show opens up with a Big Cass coming out with first. Why does Big Cass have generic music? Like his music is like a mix between shitty hip hop and shitty dubstep. And then if you go to Jersey and you go to like any Jersey club, the music that they play in there, you put all that together with shitty hip hop and shitty dubstep, and then you have Big Cass's music. Like his music isn't intimidating at all. Like you can't be a heel but come out to fucking Lollipop Gang music or some shit like that. It doesn't work. You can't be 10 feet tall and come out to the happiest music. Or if it's not happy, it's lighter than the toughest music. Like Kevin Owens is smaller than Big Cass. And I'm more intimidated by Kevin Owens' music than Big Cass's music. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, if I was in an actual fight with either one, I'm afraid of both. But this is fake wrestling. Fake wrestling. Oh, I don't want to hear Big Cass come out to terrible music, which is crazy because they're pushing Big Cass, but he's still not comfortable. He's still not comfortable on the mic. He's still not comfortable in front of a big crowd, which is amazing to me that he's been on the main roster for more than a year now. And just because Enzo was the mouthpiece of the tag team, that doesn't mean that Big Cass that doesn't mean that that's an excuse for Big Cass to still be as uncomfortable as he appears. Like I hated this promo that he gave to open the show. I hated it because first of all, Big Cass should stick Big Cass with the same character that he was when he was with Enzo. Enzo was the mouthpiece. Big Cass did very little talking. He went in there and he dominated the match. Enzo would get his ass kicked for 7 minutes, and then the next 3 minutes, Big Cass would make a save and win. All Big Cass said was, I have one word for you and I can spell it out. That's all he said. He didn't say anything else. So now, because he's the heel, now he has to talk more. That's not the case all the time. Because talking more is good for somebody that's good talking. Big Cass is not good talking, at least now. Now, granted, you can make the argument, oh, well, how can he get good at talking if he doesn't talk more? I can make the argument that he can be good talking, but we can slowly transition to that. Have him talk less now, so when he talks more later, it's more effective and he's better at doing it. And some people are gonna be like, oh, have him talk more now, so when he talks more later, he's better at it. So you're nitpicking now. I'm nitpicking. I don't give a fuck. This is my my personal preference. If I was booking Cass right now, I would have him say as little as possible. I would have him go out there and say, I'm where the money is. And then walk off. Don't say much more. Don't say much more. That's all I need. Don't say much. Just like when you were with Enzo, don't say anything. Just put in all the work. Just do all the work. This is where the money is, and then go kick somebody's face off and walk away. That's all you need. So he's out there giving a big speech. It was whatever. I didn't really care about it. I just wish that if they are gonna have him talk more, I need him not only to get more comfortable doing it, I need him to be more aggressive. Because he's 7 feet tall, but he's talking like a Harvard graduate. I don't need you to talk like a Harvard graduate right now. You're 7 feet tall and you kick people's faces off for a living. That's your hopefully that's his new finishing move. I hope the big boot is his new finishing move. That would be great because I call for that on the last Raw review. I call for just go out there, kick people's faces off. That's all I need. That's all I need. Just kick people's faces off. So hopefully the big boot is his new finisher. But I need you to be more aggressive for your promos. And he was trying to be a little aggressive in his promos, but it wasn't believable aggressive. It was okay, Vince, you want me to go out there and be aggressive in my promo? Okay, let me try to be aggressive. I don't need that. I just need you to be. I need you to go talk with Samoa Joe. I need you and Samoa Joe to have your own episode of Ride Along. I need Samoa Joe to give you all the tips on how to be aggressive, how to come off as authentic. have to come off as your intensity is legitimate. And we'll get into Samoa Joe later. But that's the ideal person. If your whole character is gonna be aggressive and you're gonna give aggressive and intense promos like you tried to do to start off the show, go hook up with somebody who is nothing but intense, is nothing but aggressive, and they pull it off to perfection. That's what you need to talk to. So then he says, there's not a guy in the WWE that can look eye to eye with me, and everybody knows, oh, the Big Show's gonna come out. So the Big Show comes out, and then they go out there, and Cass, for some reason, Cass awkwardly steps up to Big Show, and he like telegraphs that something's about to happen. He steps up to Big Show, and he just cocks his head like that. He cocks his head like that, and he's just talking, but he does it. But they switch to the camera that's facing Cass's face. Well, not that's bad wording. They switch to the camera that's focused on Cass, and it's like Cass is talking, and he's talking nervously. I don't know if that was just good character work by him or if that was bad character work by him, but he was talking like, I'm so nervous right now. Oh, I'm really nervous right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then Big Show headbutts him, and then they awkwardly sprawl around the ring. And I was like, yay, Big Show was doing something, but yay, this is awkward at the moment. But at least Cass is gonna get the opportunity to learn from Big Show, one of the best big men to ever be in the ring. Not the most graceful, but he can learn something from the Big Show, because the Big Show learned his aggressiveness from Stone Cold, and he's mentioned it several times that Stone Cold helped him become the giant that he was supposed to be. So with all that knowledge built up in Big Show, maybe he can pass it off to Big Cass, and hopefully it works, because Big Cass has the tools. He just needs to know which one to use. So leading after this match, we head into Finn Balor versus the Drifter, which I wish was on Great Balls of Fire, but they didn't put it on there. I can't tell you why until I see this match, and I can tell this isn't really a pay-per-view match. I don't know what they're gonna do with Finn Balor, but Samson comes out. He's singing. He's running down Houston, running down Finn Balor, and I noticed that before Samson starts to sing, the crowd is into it. The crowd is cheering him on. They're all yay. But it's like the moment he sings one note, they start to boo him, and I don't get it. It's like, pick a side, people. Pick a side. Pick a side. Pick a side. Don't cheer him before he starts to sing, and then once he starts to sing, you boo him. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That's like you buying a ticket to a concert because you like the album, but when you see it in person, it's not a good performance. Or you don't like the song. Really? But you like the album, but now you don't like the song? Come on. Work with me here. You know, Balor interrupts. Samson dominates for pretty much the entirety of the match. He works over his shoulder. The opposite shoulder that was injured by Seth Rollins, by the way. I noticed that the shoulder that Finn had surgery on was his right shoulder. He was working over his left shoulder. I don't know if that was meant to be or not, but hey, I noticed things like that. That's why you should subscribe to this podcast, because I pay attention to the details. Wink, 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 wink. Yeah, detail oriented. Anyway, Finn makes the comeback. He hits the coup de grace and wins by pinfall. So I guess this feud is over. I'm not too sure. I don't know. No, it can't be because of something that happened later on. I don't know what they're gonna do with Finn. I feel like Finn. I feel like they should have brought back Finn way earlier than they should have if he was cleared, because they say he was cleared like before Mania. I think they could have brought him back. They could have gave him the Universal Championship. Don't give Goldberg the championship. Give it to Finn. Give it back to Finn. Have Finn versus Owens. That would have been good. Don't give me Goldberg. I don't want to see Goldberg with the title. I don't want to see that. I don't want to. But anyway, I'll going back from my rant. Finn wins. He's walking up the ramp, and the Hardy Boys come out, and all I can think of is they're gonna go one or two ways. Either they're gonna keep this little trio intact, and they're gonna be faces, or Finn is gonna turn heel. The Hardys. Now the latter won't happen. It'd be cool, but it won't happen. But pretty sure that Balor and the Hardys are now going to be this little trio that's going around, and especially after the Hardys promo that came right after this, we might be getting a broken demon. I don't know. It's possible we could. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on in reality. All I can tell you is I'd be happy for it. Would you be happy for it? I'm waiting on you to nod or shake your head. Are you is that a yes or a no? I don't is that a okay. So right after this, the Hardys they cut a promo, and the entire time they're just teasing the broken gimmick. Jeff is doing the obsolete. Matt is saying that they're broken, and the whole time I'm just hoping and praying, please, 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 let this be reality. Let this happen. Please tell me that they're finally gonna settle this. Please tell me that TNA is done with the bullshit, and they're gonna drop whatever trying to case that they're trying to make. Because I know that Matt and Rebby, they're the owners of this shit. We all know this. TNA has no say in this shit. They're just mad because the broken gimmick, the broken universe is money. It's money. You have fucking 10,000 people in an arena chanting delete. That's money. Compared to like 500 people in the impact zone chanting delete. That's a paycheck. That's a paycheck. But you have 10,000 people chanting delete. And then you at SummerSlam, you'll have 50,000 people. At fucking WrestleMania, you have 100,000 people chanting delete. That's more than a paycheck. That's more than a paycheck. That's like hitting the lottery. That's money. So TNA is just upset that they won't make money off of it anymore. But hey, you can't have everything. So the Hardys are teasing the broken gimmick, and the club comes out, and all I can think of, the club is going to lose this match. So what's the point? They're just going to lose this match. But no, somehow, some way, the club won a match. The club won a match. They haven't won a match all year, I don't think. I have no idea. I could be wrong, but I'm probably going to be right. I thought for sure the club were going to SmackDown. I thought they were going to be involved in the whole Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Fashion Popo storyline, but obviously I'm wrong. I wish I wasn't. I wish they were on SmackDown, but they won, which is weird. It's really weird because they won, and as they're walking up the ramp, the Revival come out, and they go in the ring and they attack the Hardys. And all I can, and I'm thinking, if they're gonna attack the Hardys, why didn't they just have the Hardys win? Because then it could be heel tag team beating up victorious babyface team. But no, you just had a heel tag team beating up a babyface team that just lost, and they're laying on the mat. I don't know. That's a little bit nitpicky, but don't have a heel tag team come out and beat up babyfaces that just lost. Have them beat up babyfaces that just won. Have them beat up the babyface as they're on top of the world. So you're knocking back down to reality. Do you get what I just did there? They're on top of the world, but you're knocking back down to reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a poet. I'm not just I'm not just an avid wrestling fan. No, I'm a poet. You want to hear another poet? Poem? You want to hear another poem from this poet? All right. Roses are red, violets are blue. The next following this segment, we had the Mizzies, which was just the Miz TV, but it was like an award ceremony called the Mizzies, and he was handing out trophies. Best supporting actor. It was a tie for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And let's mention this. Bo Dallas looks fucking fantastic. He has that one glove. He has the fucking bandana. He has his hair tied back in like a little ponytail. And he has fucking Bo Dallas looks like a fucking stud, man. This should be Bo Dallas's ring attire. Don't give me any more of the fucking white trunks or the black onesie. Fucking give me one glove, bandana, sunglasses, and Bray Wyatt jeans. He had Bray Wyatt pants on. That was fucking fantastic. Bo Dallas, he looks like $1,000,000. Bo Dallas looks like $1,000,000. Not ducks, bucks. He looks like $1,000,000. And Curtis Axel had sweat stains on his armpits, but he looked good too. I like the dynamic. Bo Dallas is the brute. He's a hardcore guy. He's the thug in the situation. He's the hitman in the situation. He has one glove. He's gangster. Anybody with one glove is gangster. Think about Michael Jackson. He was gangster. Bad. You remember Bad? Do you remember Bad? He was fucking gangster. He had one glove on. He was even more gangster because it had glitter on it. You didn't think about that, did you? Bo Dallas is the Michael Jackson of the WWE. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Right now, he's part of the Jackson 5. When they split up, He's the Michael Jackson. He's already got the glove. I told you. He's already got the glove. The next award we had was the most beautiful, gorgeous, sexy leading lady. And for some reason, The Miz is the heel that makes nothing but valid points. Everything he says makes sense. This award made perfect sense. The most beautiful, check. The most gorgeous, check. Sexy, check. Maurice. Can we talk about how Maurice? Ooh, Maurice, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how The Miz did it. I don't know how The Miz did it. But he's married to Maurice. I don't know how The Miz did it, man. The Miz, if you're watching this, I salute you. I salute you, sir. I salute you. Miz, congratulations, Miz. Congratulations, dog, man. Congratulations, man. Maurice, stop. Man, you a winner for life, Miz. You're a winner for life. Not only did you beat Dean Ambrose, like you said you were gonna do, but you're married to Maurice. That's better than any Intercontinental Championship, any Universal, WWE, United. That's better than any championship in the world. You're married to Maurice. You're married to Maurice, Miz. Don't you ever forget that, Miz. You're my hero. You're married to Maurice. Maurice. You're married to Maurice. Lucky motherfucker. The last award was Greatest Man in the WWE. And it appeared there might be a mishap like with the Oscars. It appeared Dean Ambrose won. But no, it was The Miz playing a trick. No. It was actually The Miz. The Miz won the award. He called out the Hardys. He called out Tozawa. He called out the Hardys. He called out Tozawa. He called out Seth Rollins. And he made a point to call out Seth Rollins and go in on Seth Rollins. Or not in, but he made a point to emphasize Seth Rollins. So right away, that's setting up Miz versus Rollins. Hopefully in the near future. But then, unfortunately, Dean Ambrose came out. And apparently we're still getting Miz versus Dean. Even though we had, We had 6 months of Dean versus Miz on SmackDown Live. And now This was July. Now we have 4 months of Miz Ambrose on Raw, and apparently we're gonna get 6 more months of Ambrose Miz on Raw. They're beating 5 dead horses at the same time. They have just like a giant bamboo stick, and they have 18 dead horses lined up, and they're just beating them all at the same time. And I'm sorry for all you animal lovers out there, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's like taking a shit in the shower. It's redundant. It makes no sense. Redundant might not be the best word, but again, my vocabulary isn't the best. I know big words, but my usage of them is questionable. But the most important thing is I know big words. But the point is, they're still gonna do Miz versus Dean, and I can be more uninterested because I just don't like Dean Ambrose. I'm tired of Dean Ambrose. I don't want Dean Ambrose on my TV train anymore, especially not in a prominent role like championship worthy. I don't want it. You put Dean Ambrose. Go ahead. Do Dean Ambrose versus the Drifter. Get that out of the way and give me Balor Miz or give me Rollins Miz. Don't give me Ms. Dean for the 15,000th time. I don't want it. I don't need it. I definitely don't deserve it. Just stop it. Do something new. I don't care. Go on to the next. Don't do it. But they're gonna do it apparently because Dean came out like the lunatic fringe that he is. He thought, oh, there's 3 people in the ring. I have a chance. No. He jumps in the ring. He goes after Miz. He gets his ass kicked. They jump on him. And then, la da da. Seth Rollins comes out, makes a save, like we all knew was gonna happen. So that's setting up Miz Rollins, especially since Rollins made a point in his interview later on to mention the Miz, which sets up something else that happened at the end of the show. So this leads into the Miz. No, not the Miz. It leads into Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins backstage. And Dean was trying to be a tough ass, basically. Like, hey, basically what he said was slow your roll. What he said was there's not gonna be a Shield reunion. That's what he said. There's not gonna be a Shield reunion. But for those of you that don't speak Ebonics, let me elaborate what he said. What he said in English was there's not gonna be a Shield reunion. What he said in Ebonics was, and this isn't gonna be Ebonics, I'm just making a joke. He said, I'd rather get my ass kicked by 3 people than to have help from you. That's basically what he said. It's not Ebonics. People calm down. I know you're trying to riot. Don't riot. It's not Ebonics. It's not Ebonics. Don't calm down. It's not Ebonics. It's not Ebonics. Calm down. In English, he said, there's not going to be a Shield reunion. I don't need your help. What he meant was, well, what I gathered from it, because I'm an expert at breaking things down. What he said was, I'd rather get my ass kicked by 3 people, not 1, not 2, not well, yeah, 3, yeah, not 1, not 2, but 3. I'd rather get my ass kicked by 3 people than to have Seth freaking Rollins help me. I guess he really is is Dean Ambrose a lunatic or is he just a dumbass? If yes, hit that like button. Make love to that like button. And impregnate that subscribe button. Is Dean Ambrose a lunatic or is he a dumbass? There's three people in the ring, but I can take them all because they worked so well the night before and in the previous Monday nights. And when somebody comes out to help me, I'm going to tell them I don't need their help. I don't know about you, but I do know about me. I'd rather get my ass kicked by 1 person than have that person take a break and another person come in, and then have that person take a break and have a 3rd person come in, and then everybody take a break, and then everybody jump in. I'd rather have my ass kicked by 1 person than 3. I don't know about Dean. Dean must like that shit. I don't know about him. I can't speak for him. All I can say is, from what he said to Seth Rollins backstage, I gathered, I don't need your help. There will be no Shield reunion. I'd rather have my ass kicked by 3 people. Is that just me? Am I the only person that saw that? That heard that? Am I the only person that heard that? Am I can't be. I can't be. I can't be. He's a lunatic. What can I say? He's the lunatic. He's a lunatic. Mm. He he's a lunatic. So that backstage segment leads directly into Sasha Banks and Bailey versus Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Once again, I don't know if you guys notice this. It might just be me. It might just be me. I don't know. I can't. I'm special in more ways than some. But Bailey is getting hurt. Bailey's pops are getting quieter and quieter. And I don't know how to fix that. I mean, I have one idea that I'll go in after I talk about the match. But nobody cares about Bailey anymore. I mean, people care. Like little girls, they're gonna care about Bailey. But shit, I don't care about Bailey anymore. Bailey has reached that point that like Dean Ambrose has reached for me. It's like once he's on my TV screen, I'll turn the channel. Like I'd rather not watch a Bailey match than to watch it because I know the when her music hits, she's not gonna get a good pop. Alexa Bliss is get Nia Jax might get a bigger pop than Bailey at this point. I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to Nia Jax's pops. Alexa Bliss definitely. Alexa Bliss versus Bailey. Alexa Bliss would get better pops every single night. It's not even a question. Alexa Bliss was fucking destroying the pop game. I'm not talking about the little collectibles. I'm not talking about the little collectibles. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pop game like, oh, it's such a big yay! No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, wait, I am talking about that. What the fuck did I just say? I'm talking about yay. Not the, y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. But Alexa Bliss was getting better pops than Bailey every single night. But now it's just like I can't hear. I can't hear. Like I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if I'm hearing her music or if I'm hearing people cheer. I just don't hear anybody though. It's weird. It's messed up. Like not Sasha. How you take Bailey from being Bailey to being Bailey? Like, how do you take Bailey from being Bailey to being Bailey? Like, Bailey was larger than life, and now Bailey is life. Bailey used to be honey roasted peanuts. Now she's just cashews. Not even that. She used to be honey roasted peanuts. Now she's lightly salted cashews. Those are worse than cashews. Probably because they do shit like they did in the match last week, where they take her out, where Nia Jax takes her out of the match, knocks her out of the match. She has to go to the back, and Sasha Banks wins the match anyway. So it was a tag team match last week, and then turns into a handicap match, And Sasha Banks still wins the match without any help from Bayley. She still wins the match. And then this week, Bayley is getting her ass beat the entire match. She's getting her ass beat the entire match. And then comes back to win the match randomly, to win the match. It's like either Bayley is getting destroyed or she's absent from the match. It's either or. But both ways she looks weak. Like you like it makes what like you get taken out of a match, which makes it a handicap match for your best friend. And then your best friend still wins the match without any help from you. Any help from you. She wins the match. And then the following week, you're just getting your ass beat. You're getting your ass destroyed the entire match. And just because she picked up the win, doesn't mean that it makes her look strong. No. It just means she got the win. So what? It's easy to get a win when the opponent you're going against is a arrogant heel. It's easy. Just wait for them to be too arrogant and roll them up. That's all you gotta do. So Bayley picks up the win. Sasha and Bayley win the match. And I'll mention this now. I won't wait till no apology is needed to book this, but I'll say it now. The the Sasha heel turn that they were planning on doing months ago, and then they scrapped. They should do that now, but they should do it for Bayley. I need Bayley to go heel. I need Bayley to go heel immediately. And one of my good friends on Twitter, his name is also Terrence. I'll link his Twitter down below. We've had discussions about this previously. You know, and he didn't know if it could work or not because it is Bayley. And that's the thing, is when you have a character like Bayley, whose whole thing is about being face, like her gimmick is face. Like it's face. She gives out hugs and little girls dressed up like her with headbands, and she has fucking inflatable men in her entrance. It's like all her whole shit is fucking 12-year-old girl in a 27-year-old's body. That's a wrestler. That's her whole gimmick. Her whole gimmick is fucking innocence. You can't be a heel if your whole gimmick is innocence. But you can be a heel if your whole gimmick is innocence, but you're jealous at the same time. You can have every 5-year-old in the world is jealous of another 5-year-old. Whether it's because they have a crush on another person, on another 5-year-old, but that 5-year-old is dating another 5. That was a bad. I'm sorry. That was a bad analogy. Let me put it this way. Everybody is jealous of another person at one point in life. At one point in life. Like I wanna look like Roman Reigns just because I know I can get any woman in the world. Because let's face it, Roman Reigns is a good looking dude. Let's face it. You know it, I know it. Don't shake your head. You know it, I know it. Don't say no. You know it, I know it. Roman Reigns is a good looking dude. Right? Am I right or wrong? Roman Reigns is a good looking dude. He can get any woman in the world he wants. Plus, plus, he's being pushed like the ultimate babyface in the company, even though he fucking tried to murder somebody Sunday night. But we'll get into that later. There's plenty of superstars. You cannot tell me there's not a superstar on the roster in a lesser position than Roman Reigns that isn't jealous of his position. That's all you got to do with Bayley. Bayley is best friends with Sasha, but Sasha is the fucking queen bee right now. She doesn't. She isn't the champion, but she's had more success against Bliss than Bayley ever had. Bayley. So have Bayley see that Sasha is better than her. That Sasha might get the job done against Bliss, and Bayley couldn't. And Bayley can't accept the fact that her best friend is going to do something that she couldn't do. Have Bayley be jealous. Have Bayley turn on Sasha. It can work, and I'll probably go more in depth on it on No Apologies Needed. But a jealous Bayley Hillturn could work if I booked it. If Vince booked it, it wouldn't work because half the shit that he books and the writers book, they don't work. But if I'm booking it, a heel Bayley with a jealousy character issue, it could work. It could work. It's Bayley. It's Bayley, so it'll be hard to pull off. But it would have been hard to pull off if they didn't book her to shit. But now that she's booked to shit and nobody cares, any new thing that she does, especially giving her some attitude, anything like that, it will give people something to cheer about. But hey, you can't have everything you want. Mm-hmm. After this, we had a Goldust promo. He said the same thing that he's been saying, and during this, I was thinking I really want Goldust and Booker T to have a sit down interview just so I can see that fucking dynamic from 2000 again. They were fucking phenomenal back in the day, but have this Goldust and this Booker T like 10, 20, like 15, something like that. However many years later, have them sit down and talk and see their dynamic again because they're great friends and they have good chemistry and good comedic timing. So I would really love a Booker T sit down interview with Goldust. Probably won't happen. I would love to see it though. And this match leads into Goldust versus R-Truth. And I noticed that Goldust, that first night when Goldust came out, and it was gonna be Goldust versus R-Truth, Goldust was wearing a retro Goldust outfit, like the old school Goldust outfit that he had. And I mentioned it was not flattering at all to him. He had a belly and everything. He looked he looked he looked bad wearing it. And ever since then, he hasn't been wearing that retro. He's worn retro, but it's like retro from the waist down and on the sides. But everything else is like black. Everything that was white and like silver that was on the retro is all black now. It's a mixture of the black that he was wearing when he was good mixed with the gold from the retro outfit, which is great because it makes him look slimmer. Because that retro attire, woo, that man had a belly on him, and it was like it was weird because he was so small. He was so I don't know if he just gained weight from not being from only having new promos on TV. I don't know if it was just he just gained weight from just doing the backstage promos. But he still has a belly. It still looks like he has a belly. But excuse me. It was way better. It was way better than it was way better than that retro attire that he had that first night. And it was a back and forth at the beginning of the match. It was back and forth at the beginning of the match, but Goldust kind of he took control. The crowd wasn't into this match that much. It was first of all, the show was terrible, but the crowd sucked too. But I don't know if I can blame the crowd. I don't know if it was I don't know if they were mutually exclusive. I don't know if the show sucked, so therefore the crowd sucked, or if that can't be because they were hyped for the best segment later on. They were hyped for the segment that came right after this. So it had to have been the fucking show. Because there was not a damn thing to cheer for this entire show. There wasn't a fucking one there was one fucking good thing to cheer for this entire show. There was fucking one thing. After that, they sat right back down on their hands. So Goldust takes control during the match. He ends up winning, and I don't know. I don't know if it was a blow. It might have been a blow off. I'm not sure. I doubt it. But damn, if the truth, I just wish the crowd was more into it. But I can't blame them because the show sucked. Following this show, not show. Following this segment, we had Kurt Angle. He came out and he was introducing Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman. He was gonna announce like a new opponent for Lesnar at SummerSlam, and Paul Heyman was like, "No, no, 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 no. This is not a Raw creative meeting. No, 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 no. So we're gonna leave." And then Roman Reigns decides to bring his ass out, and this was my one beef with this segment. My one beef with this segment was they at Great Balls of Fire, Roman Reigns attempted murder. Attempted to commit murder. That's exactly the man that Vince McMahon has been pushing as a top baby face in the company. And that Vince McMahon has been pushing as a top baby face in the company for like 3 years now. You just had him on live television in front of thousands of people in attendance and millions of people at home. You just had him attempt to murder another human being. And then the next night on Raw, you're still pushing him as a babyface. Now, here's the thing. They weren't all in on babyface Reigns. But if you're not going to be all in on him, what's the point? Just have him be all in, man. Just have pull the trigger. Vince McMahon, anybody. Send this as a Vince McMahon. And I want you to timestamp. Pull the trigger on a heel Roman Reigns. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. He should have been a heel from the very beginning. And 3 years later, you have him attempt to murder another human being. And he's still not full-blown healed. Why? 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 Somebody tell me, please. This was a fucking phenomenal segment. But not because of Roman Reigns. This segment is all about when you put Brock Lesnar, who doesn't give a shit, he's gonna do what he wants because he can, because Vince needs him to make money. Vince will make more money with Brock Lesnar than he will without Brock Lesnar. That's just a fact. And Brock Lesnar knows this because Brock Lesnar is making a lot of money, not doing anything. So this segment is all about when you put Brock Lesnar, who doesn't give a shit, and Samoa Joe, who is one of the best in the business at coming off as legit, and you put them in a ring like this, and you give them a live microphone. Brock Lesnar said, "You don't deserve shit." And Brock, it's kind of crazy. You're not the person to say you don't deserve shit. I'm just saying, you didn't beat anybody to become number one contender. No, you just made yourself a number one contender, and then you beat Goldberg. Who, by the way, Goldberg, he didn't beat anybody to become number one contender. He didn't win the Royal Rumble. You remember that, right? He didn't win the Royal Rumble. He just came out and told Kevin Owens, put the belt on the line. He won it. So you can't say you don't deserve it. I'm just saying, you can't tell anybody you don't deserve it because it's questionable if you deserve it. Do you get what I'm saying? But this segment was fucking phenomenal because it was like this segment was borderline shoot. Like it's hard to understand because Brock Lesnar he's just fucking crazy. He's a psychopath. It's hard to understand if he was being legit or if he was just good at playing up the drama. But something in me tell me like that shit was legit. Like Brock Lesnar's just fucking crazy. Brock Lesnar's crazy. He'll say fuck, he'll say shit, he'll say balls and all that shit on live television, and he doesn't give a fuck. Which is great because it just adds to the. It's great when it's Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe is nothing but intensity. So then you add crazy intensity. So then you add psychopath mixed with intensity to intensity and badass, and you put that in the ring. It's like coming up with the greatest baby ever alive. It's like coming up with the greatest action film ever. You have a psychopath killer and a badass hitman over here, and they neither one can die, but they can kill everybody else. And you just put them in a cage, and then you lock the door, and then you turn the lights off. That's what that is. And then you have Roman Reigns in the ring, who attempted to commit murder, and he wants a title match. So Angle says next week, Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. The winner becomes the number one contender for the Universal Championship, and then we'll get their match at SummerSlam. And I'm hoping that next week Braun Strowman comes back and he just fucking wrecks Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. That's what I'm hoping for. At the very least, I want him to come back and I want him to destroy Roman Reigns. At the very least, I want him to attempt to murder Roman Reigns. At the very least, that's what I want to happen next week. But what I really want to happen is Braun come back, destroy Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, and that sets up a fatal four-way at SummerSlam. Now, granted, this is Vince McMahon, and he loves money almost more than he loves to be creative. And he knows that 2 matches with 4 moneymakers is better than 1 match with 4 moneymakers. So you have money over here, and then you have money over here, instead of all that money in the same place. So that gets a better opportunity to make money. So it's SummerSlam, so he wants to have, obviously, the more matches, the more money. But if there was ever a time to have a fatal four-way, this would be the match. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe. That's look at that's that would be fucking fantastic. I would love for that to happen. The likelihood of that happening is almost non-existent. But I would love for that to happen. It should happen. It needs to happen. We deserve it. We deserve it. After all that shit that we've been through as fucking wrestling fans and WWE fans, having to put up with all this Roman Reigns pushing BS, we deserve Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, fatal four-way match for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. We deserve it. That's what we should be given. We deserve it. Nothing less, a lot more if we can do it. I say making a prison match. I say making a prison match, man. Put them all in a cage. Turn the lights off. Put a bunch of knives in the ring. I don't know. Put some soap and some water in there too. Never mind that last part. Just put all a bunch of knives in there and just let them go. Let them go. Put a bunch of knives. Let them take a little break. Have a little prison food. Prison rules match. Shanks, knives, anything you want. Turn the lights off. Let's get it. Turn the lights back on. Person with the most blood still in their body, they the winner. Hey, Roman Reigns mentioned the Attitude Era. That's something that might happen in the Attitude Era. Vince, if you're watching this, I know you're watching this. I know you're not. I know you're watching this. You're not watching this. If you are watching this, 4-way prison rules match. Make it happen. Following this match, we had Kurt Angle and Corey Graves backstage. Long story short, the whole Kurt Angle secret is it's so important that not only did he say if this gets out it can ruin him, but now he's saying next week I need to talk about it. Okay. I guess so, Kurt. Go ahead, Kurt. It's Kurt Angle, so I love Mr. Kurt Angle, but I hope it's not Dixie Carter. If it's Dixie Carter, I'll be kind of pissed. I don't need Dixie Carter in my life, especially on WWE. She was enough on TNA. She was more than enough on TNA. I don't need her back on WWE. There's people in WWE who left TNA to get away from Dixie Carter. Now you're gonna bring Dixie Carter back? No. I'm good. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Next, we had Akira Tozawa versus Akira Tozawa and Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar and Neville. Another reason why 205 Live in the Cruiserweight division is not working. Because if the show is already trash and people don't pop for Cruiserweight matches to begin with, they don't care about Cruiserweight matches. So if they already don't care about Cruiserweight matches and they don't give a shit about 205 Live, and the show is already trash, the Raw is already trash, it's already garbage. Nobody cares about it. It's boring. So if you add, this is already boring, plus we already know this is boring, and we already know we are gonna talk about it and care about it. And let's put those two things together. Let's put those two things together. That's what this match was. That's exactly what this, the heels are dominant as always. They're working over Akira Tozawa. They're working over Alexander. Tozawa ends up he ends up it was Cedric Alexander. He was in the match. He was going against Neville. They were on the top rope. They ended up fighting a little bit, and Neville fell. Neville ended up falling onto the ropes in the same position that he put Akira Tozawa in on Great Balls of Fire. And Cedric was like, oh, ooh. And Titus was ringside, and he was like, Cedric, you know what to do. Get my boy in there. You know what to do. Get my boy in there. So Cedric tags Akira. Tozawa goes and kicks the ropes just like Neville did, and then he hits a beautiful senton. That senton was something phenomenal, by the way. I hate that senton because every time Akira does it, it's always like he never like hits it. It's like he's always breaking his back. Like he always lands just straight back on the mat, and like his shoulder blades or something, not even his shoulder blades, like his shoulders are what's hitting his opponent. But it's like the rest of his back is just hitting the mat, and it looks so bad. Oh, it looks like it hurts so much. But this time it was beautiful because it's like he landed, like he got some meat on there. You know what I'm saying? Like he got at least shoulder blades and up landed on Neville. So it was phenomenal. Tozawa hits he hits a senton on Neville, and he picks up the pin. So obviously we're gonna get. It was obvious on Great Balls of Fire that we're gonna get Tozawa Neville. It should be at SummerSlam. I won't be surprised if they do the rematch prior. It should be on SummerSlam. I don't know. Neville has had like a fucking 8 month reign or some shit like that. No, 7th. He won it at Royal Rumble. He's had a long reign with this belt. He's had a ton of title shots, title matches, title defenses since he won it. He's just so fucking good. And they've made it hard for him. He's made it hard for them to take the belt away from him. That's how fucking good he's been. He's made it hard for them to take the belt away from him. And I want the belt on Tozawa. I would not be shocked if Neville beats Tozawa again. I would not be shocked. Following this, we had Rollins interview backstage. He didn't say anything important. Not a damn thing. He called out The Miz, which foreshadowed what happened after the match, the main event. Bray Wyatt has a little video thing. He didn't say a damn thing either, as per usual. So it was a bunch of nothingness from both men. Rollins versus Bray was the main event. It was a decent main event. I just wish I just wish that this wasn't the main event. I feel like that Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns segment, that should have been the main event of the show. It should have been the main event. Because that shit was fucking awesome. Leave end the show on a high note. Because this did not end the show on a high note. This was Rollins running over Bray's hand because Bray poked Rollins in the eye at Great Balls of Fire and he won. And Rollins' eye is injured. It's bad makeup, but it's injured. So Rollins is working over Bray's hand for revenge, and then Wyatt ends up taking control over the match. He's dominating Bray. I mean, he's dominating Seth. And then Bray, like, elbows him. Seth goes for that fucking whatever that Rainmaker knee thing he has that he does so slowly. He goes for that. Bray elbows him this way, like like so. Seth's bad eye is his right eye. So Bray elbows him in his right eye, and Seth is selling his eye being hurt, and then Bray headbutts him, and Seth sells his eye being hurt even more, and then Bray does Sister Abigail on Seth, and he picks up the pin. And then Bray's a little funky, like, all that shit happened, and then Bray is nowhere to be found, and it's just Seth in the middle of the ring laying down. And then he cuts to The Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel walking through the crowd, going to the ring. And they surround the ring, and they jump in the ring, and they just beat up Seth Rollins. As if this wasn't obvious. It's obvious we're going to get Miz versus Seth. I'm just trying to figure out if we're getting Miz versus Seth, why the fuck is Dean Ambrose still a part of this shit? Dean Ambrose, you lost. You lost, Dean. You lost. You lost before, you lost again. You lost. So can it be over with, Dean? So Miz and the Miztourage are they're ganging up on Seth Rollins. They're beating down. Then Dean makes a save for the chair. And that was the end of the episode. That was such a lackluster end of the episode. Like that Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns segment, that should have been the end of the night because that was the hottest the crowd had been the entire night. That crowd was dead the entire night until that segment. And then after that segment, they were dead again. At least let the crowd be dead. If you're gonna book a crappy show, at least put the best segment at the end of the night. At the end of the night. Don't have the crowd dead for 2.5 hours, and then let them come alive for 15 minutes, and then for the rest of the show they're dead again. So now they get to go home bored again instead of going home being like, "Holy shit, Brock Lesnar just said shit on national TV," and they were almost about to go to blows for real. Is it for real or is it still fake? I don't know. Like that should have been the end of the show. That should have been in the show. Don't give me Dean Ambrose coming out with a fucking chair, even though he just said there's not gonna be a Shield reunion. So if there's not gonna be a Shield reunion, why are you helping Seth Rollins? Dean, are you a lunatic, Dean? Are you a lunatic or are you just like forgetful? Because you just said like an hour before there's not gonna be a Shield reunion. Yet you come out and you help your former Shield mate. I don't know. The show was terrible. The fucking pay-per-view was great. The show was terrible. SmackDown Live tomorrow should be a fucking piece of cake. Everybody on SmackDown Live should be looking at Raw last night and thinking to themselves, this is a piece of cake. 2 hours? This 2 hours? Man, yeah. 2 hours is gonna be easy. This is gonna be way better than that. Because SmackDown Live only has to compete with one segment from Raw. One segment. That should be fucking easy. One segment. Anyway, that was the Raw review and recap for this week. Make sure you go and follow the podcast on Twitter and follow my personal Twitter. Going over to patreon.com/unapologetic and support the show if you like. Make love to that like button. Impregnate that subscribe button. Don't do it too much. Cause I can't afford child support. I mean, technically that would be my child, because this is my channel. When you're subscribing to my channel, you're impregnating my channel. I don't like that. Don't. I mean, impregnate it, but be generous. 10 seconds max. Don't do 30 minutes. 10 seconds max. Make love to the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you like. Let me know what you thought. You know how these things go.